This is Sims, and we're back with more Color X Malice Unlimited. Woohoo! Still excited. Anyway, so we're just picking up where we left off. We're still in the prologue. And we just met Tachibana, who we have never absolutely seen before, and he is not working for Ray Mikuni or anything like that. But he absolutely fucking is. I mean, spoiler! We know, you could tell by a shadow. But anyway, so he's shady AF, but we're going to help him. And I guess that's kind of, because this is obviously different than the after story. I'm just really kind of actually confused, though, because the after stories are supposed to be after we go down the normal X-Day route. So it's interesting that we started here. I'm kind of curious how it's going to go. So we start here. We're going to do some stuff in the kind of prologue, unlock the after story, but then we have choices in the after story depending on to whether you get one of your three endings, you know. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, okay, look. It's the best ending, the normal ending, and then the bad ending. And the normal endings are usually like, that's normal? What the fuck? Like, they're normally not the greatest. Okay, when they say normal, it's pretty bad. They're like, yeah. So I don't know if it's going to be good, best, bad, or what. But anyway. But the after stories were supposed to be like, after, continuing. But we're kind of starting over at the beginning. So it's going to be like 6 months later type of a thing. You know what I mean? Confused how it's going to go. But I mean, we're going to find out. But I'm intrigued because we're starting so far back, kind of. Which in a way is nice, because you're kind of getting a little bit of, right, the right collar thing. I mean, I knew some of the basics, like, we have a collar on us. We investigated. Ray and Zero are bad. We know Saeki's bad, like, we know he's Zero, like, whatever. Like, we know all this shit. Like, so, but. Anyway. We would accept the case. But it was unlikely to be related to Adonis. And if it was, we'd turn it over to the police. That was the deal we laid out for Tachibana, and he nodded in agreement. And what a relief. I tried doing a little detective work on my own, but I'm no match for the real deal. You said you entered Matsushima's place. Aside from the letter, did anything else seem off to you? Nothing I noticed after a quick glance around. If I had to guess, I'd have to say his PC. But I don't know my way around computers. Matsushima was always a computer nerd, so I think he knew a lot about them. I was hoping someone more tech-savvy would come along and take a look. Could come along. Sasazuka was the obvious choice. But Sasazuka sensed my intentions and returned my look by gruffly shaking his head. Well, forget it. I don't trust him. Huh? Instead, he handed over the USB thumb drive. Plug this into the PC. Should tell me what I need to know. Huh? But I thought detectives had to do their work at the scene. Forget this guy. He can't get anything done when other people are around. Seaweed Head is used to being lonely. Should I give him this other USB drive then? The one with compromising photos of an eye patch wearing idiot? Hey, you better not! It's true that it doesn't seem like Sasazuka's style to show up at a crime scene. Sasazuka usually worked alone. I figured he was always staring at his computer. I doubt he'd go and rummage through Matsushima's residence. Seriously? Damn. The guy with the eye patch just seems like he'd break the computer. Seriously, man? You're dissing me right after you came to us begging for help? We just met! He's pegged Enomoto so fucking fast. Like, you're a weirdo in an eye patch. You can see out of your eye. You're just wearing it to be weird. Man, I miss these motherfuckers. Anyway. I think Sasazuka will be able to figure out what we need to know using the USB drive. So we'll leave the computer stuff to him, and I'll do my best to search the premises. Nice! Having a cutie along will definitely raise my spirits, so I'm all for it. He slid right up to me while planting his hand on the wall next to me. Wow! I love him! He's a shady motherfucker. You're a little close. Oh, I don't think so, miss. In fact, I like to be much closer. Closer. Not following? Allow me to demonstrate then. With a mischievous grin, Tachibana leaned towards me. Maybe it's just because I'm in a good mood and I like this, and I'm just so excited that this game is out. But this stupid motherfucker is such an asshole. I love him. I was not okay with this. I tried to pull away. I'm laughing too much. Stop right there, criminal scum! Enraged, Enomoto stepped in and flung Tachibana away. Enomoto would actually probably be the best boyfriend because fucking Sasuke would be like, figure it out your fucking self, I'm busy. Unless you had a donut in your pocket. Then he'd defend your ass. But like, without that, he'd be like, God, why do you always need to get... He'd be annoyed. Yanagi would probably kill someone. Or be I'm not really sure how he would approach it. I think he would just look at them and scare them away. Which would be okay. Shiraishi would actually probably have paid them to accost you. Okazaki would probably be like fucking counting leaves on a tree because he's just talking. The tree was talking to me. It was very strange. We had an interesting conversation. I'm being attacked. What the fuck are you doing? Like, because he's crazy. Or he'd be like, oh, good, maybe he'll stab me because he wants to die and weird shit. And Enomoto would do this. So, like, I'm just saying, point for Enomoto. Like, get away from her. You don't turn it off for like a second, do you? Chill out, man. It was just a joke. You're still hanging on to her even when you're trying. To call it a joke? You're a lot stronger than you look, by the way. Ignore the idiot and the wannabe Lothario. Yanagi, what about the rest of Matsushima's stuff? We should divide and conquer. Hoshino, what do you want to do? To find clues about Matsushima's whereabouts, I should search his room, search his computer, have the letter analyzed, question people in the area. So, like, okay, this is the Sasuke answer, clearly. Also, we have the guide up, so I know. Search his room is probably either going to be the Yanagi or the Enomoto. Letter analyze might be the Shiraishi option, because then you're going, you know, whatever. And question people in the area, I would have said was the Okazaki one. So, we're going to go search his computer. Boop! Sasuke? What? Are you sure you don't want to come along? If something on the PC is suspicious, it'd be faster to have you look at it in person. I gave you the USB drive. You work harder, I work smarter. But I don't know much about computers. I might not know what to do. She's like, I don't know anything about computers. I'm like, I don't know. I might break something. Whoops! You're not supposed to drop computers into water? Like, just to taunt him into coming with me. Ugh, you're annoying. Yeah, you're gonna want to fuck me later. You kind of already do, don't you? Just go, man. You gotta get some exercise in every once in a while or you'll get fat. I don't want to hear that from a deadbeat. Why don't you actually help out for once? So you're really gonna go there? Fine. I don't want this jerk to have anything on me, so I'll go instead of you and work on the computer. Huh? What? I got some basic computer skills. If I get lost, I'll just look it up on my phone. Everyone knows you're hopeless around tech. Don't do anything stupid and use the drive. Don't even need it. I know my way around a computer. I know how to cut and paste. I know how to right-click on stuff. Cut and paste and right-click on shit. That's... Even I was capable of that. These were the most basic of computer skills. Even I know how to push the power button and turn it on. Like, I'm totally good at troubleshooting. Like, hi, did you turn it on and off again? Did you try turning it off and back on again? Like, could totally be on tech support. It's like the most fucking... It's kind of ridiculous when you call tech support. Did you try turning it off and back on again? That is like the basic troubleshooting. Even my grandma knows that. I mean, my grandma's dead, but like, you know what I mean? Like, anyone's grandma knows that. Like, what's the first thing? Turn it off, turn it back on. Did it fix? No. That is like troubleshooting 101. Like, anyone who has ever touched a computer knows that at this point. Okay? Like, that's the first thing you do. Turn it off and turn it back on. Did it fix it? No, fuck. Now we're screwed. Okay, now let's Google it. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway. Come on, guys. Have some faith. You can count on me, the self-proclaimed... Kuroda Kanbei? Kuroda Kanbei of Field Ops. Computers don't have anything to do with Kuroda Kanbei. Enomoto, computers are sensitive equipment. They're not something you should exert force on. It'll be fine. If it acts up, I'll just give it a good karate chop, and that usually fixes it. I mean... Sometimes you just need a good hammer to the... Never mind, not to break it. Are you being serious right now? This isn't some stupid joke, is it? I wouldn't expect some keyboard jockey to know, but the trick is to smack it from the right at a 45-degree angle. Sasuzuka's like, you bust the hard drive. I have concerns. Sasuzuka's face. Oh my god. It's not even his computer, and he's like, oh, it hurts me. The PC was bound to be smashed before it finished its analysis. I shot Sasuzuka a pleading glance. He sighed loud enough for the whole room to hear and dramatically stood up. Fine. I'll go with you. Really? I don't want the idiot infecting the system with his stupidity. But even an idiot would know what to do here. Stupid cat. Hey! Stop calling me an idiot! It sounded like you were referring to me, too. Thanks, Sasuzuka. I have a feeling this is gonna cause some grief later, so it's better if I go. What a pain. Regardless of his reasons, I was relieved that Sasuzuka would be there to consult. Thank you! You got a filthy mouth, but you're actually a pretty nice guy, Takeru. Stop looking at me like that. I'll kick your ass. Oh, what a shy guy. If it cheers you up, I'll buy you a donut. Or like at least 10. At the mere mention of donuts, Sasuzuka's expression softened slightly. When I saw him in moments like this, I couldn't help but think he was a little adorable. I love him. So can I leave the search of Matsushima's PC to the rest of you? It'll free me up to take the letter to Shiraishi for analysis. See? A letter analysis. Shiraishi. Maybe Yanagi and Shiraishi, but... Yes, please. Maybe Enomoto is room search. You know what I'm saying? After we stopped at a donut shop to secure payment, we arrived at Matsushima's apartment. Damn, Curly, you already plowed through all those donuts. Little shrimp actually puts back quite a bit of food. You must burn it all up. It must be the angst. I didn't have that problem. We were all a little angsty in high school, but I did not burn calories being angsty. It's kind of disappointing. So he's got a baby face, but he's a carnivore. He's also got sharp ears, so watch what you say. Anyway, if he eats that much, you can count on him to do his part. While Enomoto and Tachibana chatted, Sasuzuka's attention was on the PC. Here's the thing. Donuts are easy to put the fuck away, just like ice cream. Like, give me a fucking half-gallon ice cream, I'll eat that whole fucking thing. The problem is going to be like, I can eat it all. I got a stomach that's got plenty of fucking room. Like, vegetables, you're like a couple, and then you're like, no, I'm good. Like, ice cream, never stop. Donuts, you could eat like 5 of those fucking things. The problem is going to be then you're going to be like, too much sugar. Not like you're going to get hyper, but then you're like, oh god, I need something salty because it's too much sugar. You feel sick, not because you, like, oh, too much food, but too much sugar. But it, like, it's not like anything else where you're like, oh, I could eat a donut and then I'm totally full. No, donuts, they're not filled. They're delicious calories. They don't fill you up at all. It's not like, well, I ate a donut and not a lot of calories, but it's okay. I'll be full for a couple hours. It's like, I ate a donut and I'm starving still. So I was just wasted calories. It's just like you just kind of licked some calories off of something. It's like you didn't get anything in your stomach for the amount of calories you just ingested. So you could, like, pack away about a box of them. So I can't blame him for being able to eat 10 donuts. The only thing about the eating 10 donuts is not like, oh my god, my stomach would explode. It's the, I think I might literally go into a sugar overdose. I feel diabetic now just thinking about eating 10 donuts, okay? Just from the sugar. But, anyway. While Enomoto and Tachibana chatted, Sasuzuka's attention was on the PC. Sasuzuka's attention was on the PC, yeah. Sasuzuka, do you think Adonis is really involved here? Dunno. I looked into this Matsushima guy, but he's got no criminal record or suspicious history. Is there anything about him on the internet? Few hits with the same name on social media, but these days personal info is hard to find. If we at least knew where he worked. And if he has no criminal record... What I mean is that I looked him up in the databases and blacklists. He wasn't in any of them. I see. It was nothing out of the norm, but I felt that Sasuzuka was towing a very dangerous line. What concerns me is that it seems like he's trying to emulate an Adonis follower. That makes him look like he's probably a pawn who doesn't know anything important. But if he is involved, he could give us some clues. I'd say that's unlikely. We'll find out. I need to focus. Go away. Okay. I left the computer work to Sasazuka. We weren't here for idle chit-chat or to have fun. There still might be some evidence left in the apartment. Should we split up and search the place? Yeah, it's not that big, so we should be able to search it fast if we divide and conquer. Oh, there's actually one spot I'd like to check out. Where's that? One time, when I came over, I heard some noise from the place next door, and it sounded like multiple people. At the time, I just chalked it up to him having noisy neighbors. But when we mentioned it to the landlord, they said that place had been vacant for a long time. That's concerning. We should check it out. We're gonna end up dead. Hold on a second. I want to see something. Ah, okay. Oh, Sasazuka's got a couple bad endings. Interesting. Okay. We'll go take a look then. You should stay here. Understood. I'll search over here then. I sure feel safe having Eye Patch Man around. Protect me if anything happens, okay? Shh. You're a man, so protect yourself. God, sarcastic goes. I feel safe having Eye Patch Man around. Please protect me. Like, Enomoto and Tachibana then left. I was searching the kitchen when... We're back! The door opened and Tachibana entered. I was searching the kitchen. It's got a lot of cabinets to go through, namely that one. What did you find next door? Where's Enomoto? So he checked it out and it really looks like nobody lives there. Eye Patch said that he wanted to examine the place for tracks and he started crawling around the floor like a dog. I see. By the looks of him, you'd expect he was all brawn and no brains, but he actually does his job. Guy's a real detective, huh? Yeah, Enomoto is actually quite experienced and trustworthy. The place was small enough for me to search on my own, so I decided to leave next door to Enomoto. Sasazuka seemed to still be working on the computer. When I looked to see what he was doing, lines of what looked like code were filling the screen in English and numbers. That doesn't look like English. That is not English. That's like some fancy shit going on there. Wow. Hey, do you know what he's doing? I have no idea. Even the bits that I can recognize as English is flying across the screen too fast for me to understand. I don't have a clue either. Kids who live overseas must be used to English. Overseas? You think Sasazuka spent his childhood abroad? He's just fucking shouting out as obvious, isn't he? Yeah, he mentioned it while we chatted on the way over here. I felt a twinge of suspicion in my chest. It wasn't whether Sasazuka had really lived abroad. While we were walking here, Sasazuka hadn't responded to any of Enomoto's chatter. And given how cautious Sasazuka was, I doubted he'd ever reveal personal information in an idle conversation with Tachibana. Plus, do we even know that technically about him right now? You know what I mean? Like, at this point, we'd know nothing about his past, because I know that, like, he hates guns. Doesn't he? He lived in America. You'd think he'd love guns. Oh, I'm really confused about that one. I don't really remember. I think he was pretty much like, no, fuck it. I think he was like totally hated that. But didn't like... someone in his I kind of forget. He had some kind of trauma backstory, right? Like somebody was like threatened with a gun or like died via gun or something. You know what I mean? Was shot. I don't remember what it was. I don't quite remember. And then he came back and then it was when the police were all of a sudden given guns and shit. And he was like, I'm out. Fuck this shit. Because like he hated it. Right? But we don't know any of his traumatic backstory. It's okay. So see, I don't remember any of it. So it's like, we don't know it. But we might not even at this point know that he spent time in America. We might not even know. So like, because we've only known them for a few days basically at this point. Well, it's December. No, it was only the 10th. The 10th or the 12th. Which one was it? Or the 11th. I don't know. It's only been 5 or 6 days. It's been like a week max since we met them. So I don't think we know Sasazuka's story. The only reason we know is because 1, we remember, and 2, we read Rei's files, which Tachibana also read. So interesting. I mean, obviously, we know he said it, but I'm not sure if Spacey knows at this point to be like, oh, yeah, I mean, he is, or how do you know that? As he pieced together my suspicions, Tachibana smacked his palm in an apparent realization. Looks like this is going to take a while. Want to take a walk outside? I don't think that's a good idea. I'm pretty sure you gagged and bound Enomoto next door. I should go check. I was just thinking we should go on a supply run. Curly likes sweets, right? Maybe we can get him some waffles after those donuts. I actually know a great waffle place nearby. It's hot on social media. I heard the girls dig it. I'm not going to leave in the middle of an investigation. He's trying to separate us. Divide and conquer. Well, aren't you a hard worker? Or maybe you're just on your guard around me. Eh? Tachibana's eyes narrowed to slits. I looked into his eyes, but I was unable to learn anything about what he was thinking. Felt like I was gazing into an abyss. You... Just kidding. Sorry. Of course any girl getting suddenly hit on like that would find it sketchy. Oh, right. Is that what he thinks I'm being cautious of? Of course, I wasn't worried about his romantic intentions, but something much worse. But Tachibana's usual smile returned, acting as if nothing had changed. But that means you're paying attention to me, though. I have to say, I don't dislike girls like you. It's charming when you play hard to get. I just can't keep up with this guy. That said, hey, you searched the apartment, right? Did you find anything? Well, yes. Nothing here stands out as particularly strange. So technically, no. But certain things like the way the trash cans are clean despite the apartment being untidy, or the way the entire apartment doesn't have a trace of dirt or dust. That is curious. I was gonna say, they'd come into my apartment and be like, wow, this person died a long time ago. There's a lot of dust. No, I just don't dust. There's a lot of dust. It's not the day of the year that I dust. I laugh, but I'm kind of serious. I don't dust. Wow, you have a pretty good eye. Anyone who looked at this place would have noticed these things. Wow. There are a lot of typos in this. I noticed that was one thing that Otome Kitten had mentioned, that there's a lot of typos, but you ignore them. But sometimes I guess the text box is missing. I don't know if it's like the background box or something. Because I was like, are we going to miss text? That's going to suck. But I have been slowly seeing like his instead of this, or like, because it was his guy instead of this guy. There was we saw Enomoto like doubling words, or like this placed. But they're the kind of typos that you read over them because you like see them and they're not totally jarring where you're like, wait, what? Even though you notice them, you're like, I noticed this, but I know what it's supposed to say. But there are quite a few in the first hour and a half. Anyway, anyone who looked at this place would have noticed these things. Tachibana nodded agreeably. Typos are kind of like the least. Here's my complaint about the game. Typos. It's like the lowest complaint. I'd rather that be like my main if that's my main complaint about a game, is like there's some typos. Some editing issues. Whatevs. It's not like, well, this whole entire scene's in Japanese and wasn't translated. We're fucked. Guess we'll just pretend. That's huge. Typos are like they happen in everything. We've got trouble. Oh, Sasazuka, did you find anything? Sasazuka nodded, never taking his eyes off the monitor as he typed rapidly. This is a password entry screen? I noted the English password on the screen, and Sasazuka sighed. I cracked the rest of the security, but this last bit is strangely tough. Don't you have a tool that could brute force it? It won't work on this file. There's a trap on it that'll trigger after one failure. Oh, things are taking a turn for the dramatic. We have to open this lock to learn the truth. I wouldn't say that. There's no doubt that whoever owns this PC is part of Adonis. For real? How'd you figure that out, Curly? Quit calling me that. And never mind that. Where's your proof? You must have found something if you're so sure. Tachibana leaned in close. Sasazuka grimaced and leaned away, but he nodded. Security on this system is unusually heavy. It's not something an amateur could crack. Well, I know that Matsushima is a big tech nerd, so maybe he learned it on his own. And there are some independent, highly skilled hackers in the world, but nobody's as good at hacking who still wears themselves out working a sales job. What about the strange files that Tachibana mentioned earlier? And they're heavily encrypted. When I dug into the source code, it had the digital fingerprints of Adonis Tech. You can tell that much just from looking? You can see a programmer's personality in their code. And I've seen the work of Adonis, and I've seen the work of an Adonis hacker more than once. Of Adonis's hacker more than once, right? It's most likely the work of the hacker that penetrated the game server in the August case. It's either the same guy or someone close to them. Wow, you got some serious skills, man. It's giving me chills. That is shady face. So we'll need to break this password if we want to get to the heart of the matter. I looked back at the PC monitor. The password entry field was at the end of the sentence. Today I will become a... Which is what was in the thing. I know what it is because I have the guide, but when I saw it I was like, oh! I figured out how they got it. And I figured out the letter from looking at what the password was. This sentence. Oh, isn't it from that letter? The one that I showed you that I found in here. There was a similar line at the end. So that would be a hint to this password. I gave the letter to Yanagi, though. Yanagi had taken the letter to the police station for Shiraishi to analyze. I've got to call him. I reached for my phone to call Yanagi. I already took a picture of the letter. Yeah? Sasuzuka thrust his smartphone at me so abruptly he almost threw it. Perfect. Damn, you came prepared. Did you see this coming? The letter was so suspicious that you'd have to be an idiot not to take notes about it. Or keep it. Thanks, that really helps. Sasuzuka's voice was dripping with derision and sarcasm, but I peered over the letter again. Right? I got this. Puzzles are your wheelhouse, stupid cat. Huh? What? You don't want to? It's not that, but I just figured we'd solve it together. Inefficient. There's a mountain of data to sort through here, and I'm not good at riddles anyway. Okay, I'll do my best. Sasuzuka sneered and turned his focus back to the computer. I have to make myself useful, too. I don't want to burden Sasuzuka with everything. Save? Oh my god! Yes! Because actually it said, save there. I'm stumped. Can we really solve this? We should try. I'm sure that there are some rules that we need to figure out. Rules? Yes, the numbers gradually decrease and there are headers saying X days ago. So I think it follows some sort of pattern. Okay, no, okay, wait. Meaning... Yes. 9 came in. In exchange, I disappeared. I is the 9th letter in the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. 20 came in. T. No, that's not right. W is 23, though, wasn't it? Yeah. And E is not number 7. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, it says I have so many friends, right? And then you do, and there's letters. Hold on, we'll have to see. I'm gonna try to figure that out. I'll give it my best shot. 26 friends, which are letters. Number 23 came. Mystery letter. Oh. I know what it is, but I want to see if I can oh, whoops. But I'm trying to... I clicked right, and it went to the... Oh, I saw the right thing over there, and I was, like, thinking it flipped the letter. Okay. E will disappear. I'm just kind of confused. I know what it is, but... I actually am kind of curious how they get this, though. 0 days ago, 15 is coming. 5 came again. Oh, wait. Eight days ago, 7 came. Number 8's never here, right? 8 came. T disappeared. Okay, so basically the answer is hero, right? E will disappear, but E is the second letter. And 8 is H. I'm kind of IJKLMNOPQR. Huh. I actually am kind of curious how you get this. 26 friends are letters. 23 came in exchange, N disappeared. Okay, so there's no N. So it gives you... But O disappeared, but hero is the thing. And E will disappear, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually really confused how this maps out. Maybe that'll tell us. You know what I mean? We clinked glasses. W. X. In exchange, N disappeared. Huh. Because, like, E disappeared, but E is in there. So I'm really confused. Okay, look, I'm clueless how they got this. There's no way I would have been able to figure that one out. But I'm just, okay. I mean, it makes sense for, oh, I'm going to become a hero because Adonis thinks they're all heroes, right? But are you sure? Well, yes. But I hope they tell you how they did it. Pisses me off. What's that Mineo up to? He's checking out the room next door. Let's have him pick up food when he gets back. Somebody just solve it. Yes, this should be the correct answer. Probably. I mean, should? Probably? Look, did you solve it or not? I did? I don't know how, because I'm not really 100% sure. I gingerly entered the password, goaded by his annoying barbs. With a final silent prayer, I tapped the enter key and watched the screen. Words began to appear. The bad ending is inputting the password. It said wrong like 4 times. What you doing, buddy? Are you sneaking up on me? It's you. Did you come over? I told little buddy bird. What you doing? Your friend doesn't want to play today, huh? He's in his cage. Anyway, congratulations. Spacey Hoshino and Takeru Sasuzuka. It's difficult to believe, but the two of you appear to be worthy of God's affection. It knows our names? What did it mean? Shit! While I sat there bewildered, Sasuzuka violently yanked out his phone. But another hand reached out and swatted it out of his hand. Too slow. Huh? Run, Hoshino! As Sasuzuka yelled, I reflexively reached for Tachibana. You! Now, take it easy. He easily caught my hands and sprayed something in my face. I felt the strength rapidly drain from my body. I'm really confused. How are we supposed to figure out hero? Someone tell me. I want to know what it is, but they don't tell you. Sasuzuka and I collapsed to the ground on top of each other in a heap. I mean, I have the answer, but I want to know how they derived that because E disappeared, but E is there. I have 26 friends. Oh, never mind. 5 showed up, something disappeared, blah, 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 E disappeared. 5 came again, 5 is E. Okay, never mind. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So I guess it would have to be the letters in the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Did 8 ever show up? And then those numbers would be the numbers that showed up but didn't disappear. So, like, if it said number 1 showed up and then later A disappeared, it's gone. Number 5 showed up again. E had already disappeared, but E came back. Okay, I think I figured it out. I want to look at the letter again and, like, see if my math, like, you know. Anyway, I wasn't thinking about that. Anyway, I barely hung on to consciousness, but everything was in a haze and my body wasn't responding the way I wanted it to. What is... I desperately fought to stay coherent and looked around. Chisato Tachibana was gazing down at me with a bored expression on his face. Well, I got most of the data I need. Should I just leave you here and bounce? Officially, this is an investigation, but I bet they actually want me to take you off the board. You people are just an obstacle to his future, especially this collar. It's all because of her. His hand touched my collar, but I couldn't even move, much less get up to defend myself. I gotta say, he's fickle, too. If he asked, I'd rip your head off and present it to him. Or better yet, I'd make it look like you tried to force the collar off and get yourself killed. They knew our names because they knew Sasazuka would mess with the computer. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if we look at the computer and solve the puzzle. He suddenly had goosebumps. Touch upon his fingers found the gap between my neck and the collar and slowly began to tug. Then... Stop! Oh, you're gonna save us? Sasazuka's voice croaked like he had something caught in his throat. I saw him struggling to rise. Sasazuka, get away from her, you shitbag. Huh, that was supposed to be a pretty strong dose. I guess it wasn't enough. Major fail. Learn to take a hint, man. It's over. I could kill this girl with one finger if I wanted. Tachibana continued to finger my collar playfully as Sasazuka glared. Go ahead and try it. I'll be joining her in the next second. Oh, scary. How exactly are you gonna do that? Got a knife or a gun hidden on you? Alright, wouldn't be a gun. Can't have you being triggered the trauma of Mama's death. Okay, so his mom was murdered by a gun. Okay, I don't know why I was like, is his mom sure? Like, this, or something. I couldn't quite remember, but there you go. Don't go digging into people's pasts! His mother? It's only fair. I know you've been digging into my background. My past doesn't matter. Let her go! Huh. So she's important to you? I didn't expect you to be the type who could have a woman used against you. She's an important source of intel. I wonder if that's really your motivation. I mean, I think he secretly was attracted to us and just didn't want to admit it. That's why it was so easy when we were kind of like, let's go down your path. Shoves you down and has sex with you. What? Okay. You're like, oh, we're doing it. Okay. Oh, by the way, there's mature themes and like insinuations of sex and things in case you're watching this and you're underage. Get out. Also, I swear you shouldn't be here anyway. So, Tachibana stood up, taking his hand off my collar. His eyes narrowed with amusement. Sasazuka continued, ignoring the threat. Cut the crap. You set this apartment up just to test me and the stupid cat? The hell do you want? It was just a little quiz. If you didn't pass it, then you two didn't deserve to learn about X Day. My objective's complete, at least. I got the basic data where they were asking me to get. And thanks to having you play with the computer, I also got some intel about your hacking style. Is that all? Yep, unfortunately. Right now I could kill this girl if I wanted. Don't you find that awfully dull? I see. So you belong to a different faction within a dumb than the guy who put this collar on her. I'm impressed. How'd you figure that out? Simple. The voice on the end of that collar can do whatever he wants to, or whenever he wants. There's no need for stupid schemes like this. And it picked up the unique jamming waves, meaning that you're trying to get the drop on the person who's got the other end of the collar. Jamming waves! Glossary! Jamming waves! Oh yay! We get to be tour guide Spacey and read the glossary! I forgot about this and I'm so excited. Jamming waves! This refers to special waves that jam wireless communications. Typically, this is done by broadcasting noise on the same wavelength to devices. Do devices want to communications on? Wow, that's some kind of a typo. You have fun with that. I'm going to continue on. Causing a jam to the desired information cannot make it through. So, the desired information cannot make it through. So that the design... Wow! We were just saying that the typos really were okay, but this is a clusterfuck of bad. Whoever was in charge of typing out the glossary should probably get a nice little slap in the face. This was terrifying. Okay, anyway. I picked up on unique jamming waves, meaning that you're trying to get the drop on the person who's on the other end of the collar. Very nice. You are a threat indeed. Now I know why he has his eye on you. On the other hand, I have no idea why he's fixated on the girl. At best, she's sort of clever. If I killed her, who would even care? Hey, you stop it! Zero wants to have sex with me, and that's the only thing keeping me alive. Tachibana drew a gun and pointed it at me. They're all just jealous, because they're like, Zero's so sexy and we want him, but he wants you instead. But he loves us so much he gave us Shiraishi as a pet. That's what makes him better than Finn from Steam Prison, okay? I'm just saying. Because they're both the same kind of fucking psycho, right? Like, oh, we're your kind, docile little doormat of a friend, and you're like, oh, you're a good boy, and then they turn out psycho, and you're like, you're not a good boy. Only Zero wanted to just, like, take over the world. He had grander aspirations than murdering my boyfriend, so I'll give him credit for that. He's smarter. And he didn't want to kill me. I love you so much, I'll let you have Shiraishi as a pet if you kill all your friends. Okay. I mean, I'm just saying. He knew how to bribe me into liking him. Finn never did any of that shit. You killed Elk Creed, son of a bitch! I'm still mad. Look, okay. I'm still fucking mad. To you, I finished that game a little while ago. To me, I finished that game for a second time, like, yesterday. Okay? So, I'm still mad. Anyway. I stared down the length of the steel barrel. Is he going to kill me? I had to resist somehow. My mind screamed orders at my body to move, to put up some kind of a struggle. The hell you will! My hero. Look, CG! Sasuzuka staggered forward, interposing himself between me and the muzzle of the pistol. Don't shoot him! I won't let her be killed by a damn gun in front of me! Why was he trying so desperately to shield me? Sasuzuka hadn't shown an ounce of sympathy for me since I showed up with the collar. Guns piss him off. Hulk mad. He always treated me like his errand girl, and most of the time he was so intimidating I didn't bother speaking to him without a purpose. But I think he secretly loves us. And now, of all times, here he was, risking his life to protect mine. It was unthinkable. Think he was secretly attracted? Like, she's hot. Fuck you, I don't want to like you! Okay, right there. Uh-huh. And the... I'm not gonna let anyone die with a gun because I couldn't save my mom, and I'll save her. God damn it! Even if he hated me, it's dual motivation. Why? Look at the White Knight. Why go so far as to protect her? You sure do like to talk a lot, but you're not gonna kill anyone. I'm not bluffing, man. All I need to do is pull the trigger. Yeah, earlier you were talking about how you were gonna make it look like the collar killed her. Then the fact that you haven't shot yet tells me that you can't defy the collar. You're no fun, you know that? I don't need to be fun. Fucking loathe groups of cowardly shits like you. Hiding in the shadows, setting up your petty little schemes to hurt people. Do you really hate that? Don't you do the exact same thing? We don't hurt people. Oh, did I strike a nerve? It's the truth. If it came down to it, you'd kill. You'd do it without blinking in order to get what you wanted. Didn't he do that in one of his bad endings? Well, I mean, he disappeared on us. I don't remember. He abandoned us. Sasuzuka, say something. He wasn't kind, and his words were always biting. I don't think of us as close, but Sasuzuka isn't like you people. I wasn't going to keep silent. Don't move, stupid cat! Sasuzuka's trying to solve these murders. That's his own form of justice. He's not the kind of psycho that tries to toy with people's lives for their own sick amusement. Don't you dare lump him in with the likes of you. You... Here, I thought you were a little Miss Prim and Proper, but you got quite a mouth on you. Fuck you! Oh! That's another new piece of information I learned about you. I gotta say, though, when I hear you talk about me like that, it just makes me want to tease you more. Gah! Sasuzuka! Sasuzuka collapsed after getting kicked in the stomach while he couldn't move. Tachibana's lips twisted as he approached me. I just need to keep you alive. It gives me a lot of gray area to screw with both of you. You bastard! You could just lie there and enjoy the show. I know it took everything you had to move back there, so good luck trying again. Oh god. I don't want to know what his kind of torture is. As he sneered at Sasuzuka on the floor, Tachibana reached for me again. Sasuzuka just quietly narrowed his eyes. I'm right about that. Work with my brain, not my body. You won't see any more moves from me. But even a weakling like me still has some cards left to play. For example, someone else who's all brawn and no brains who won't stay down for long. Enomoto? I was like, is this where Enomoto busts the fuck in? Because, like, you tied me up, but I gnawed through those fucking ties. Like, what? Hey, are you two alright? Enomoto! Took you long enough, dumbass. Don't tell me. Were you just buying time? Sasuzuka's lips curled up into a grin, and Tachibana's eyes widened in surprise. No, wait. You didn't think I killed Eye Patch when we were next door? That's what you wanted me to think? Damn, You might be dumber than Mineo. He's dumb, but there's no way in hell you'd be able to kill this meathead in a fight without alerting us in here. No, when you put it that way. Wait, it wasn't a compliment at all. Enomoto, forget about that. Tachibana is... All right. Hey, Tachibana. That's a blunder you're gonna regret. Don't be mad. Unfortunately, I haven't spilled a drop of blood yet. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna pay you back 10 times over for laying a hand on them. It's time for vengeance! Leaping diagonally into the air, perhaps to evade possible gunshots, Enomoto flew at Tachibana. I love all of her boyfriends. Tachibana put up his arms in defense, but grimaced as Enomoto's fist pounded through his guard. I can't believe that sedative wore off so quickly. It's a real drag. Fighting people without killing them is a huge pain in the ass. What are you still running your mouth for? Enomoto kept Tachibana in close combat to avoid being shot, and then loaded a knee into his stomach. His face contorting in pain, Tachibana leapt backwards. This would be over if I could just shoot you, but unfortunately that isn't allowed. He jumped onto the bed and started climbing out the window. Enomoto! Sorry, but that's enough playtime for tonight. Tachibana disappeared out the window. Enomoto clicked his tongue in annoyance and followed him. Hey, do you know how many floors up we are? Damn it, I'm not letting this punk get away. Takeru, can you move? Take care of Hoshino. I watched Enomoto jump out the window in silence return to the apartment. Sasasuga got back to his feet with an annoyed, I'm assuming an annoyed expression, and extended his hand to me. We're missing words now. Okay, like, let's be real. Maybe it's just the prologue, but... Look. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Adding an S to something, or forgetting a thing, or maybe a word, like an A here or there. Forgetting the word expression is pretty fucking big, okay? So forgetting a word here and there is annoying. This has a lot of fucking typos. A lot of fucking typos just in the first 2 hours. It's kind of absurd at this point. However, I would much rather read and have to deal with this many typos and actually get good games localized than not get the games localized and not have, you know what I mean? Okay, if you're gonna pound out and get us, like this year, we're getting lots of games translated. 3 of them. Granted, they're all coming like August, October, like frickin' November, December. I mean, they're all coming in the last half of the year. You coulda, But if every year is gonna be like this, where we're like, hey, we got like 5 new games for you. Okay. I don't fucking care if they're typos. I would much rather see this many typos and know that we got 3, 4, 5 games a year. We only got 3 this year, but they all came out at the end. But if we every year got like 1 every other month or every few months, so we, even if 1 a quarter, 4 new games translated, make all the damn typos you want. I can still read it. It's fine. Because I'd rather have more games translated with some like fucking typo errors like this than not have any games translated at all. Or like, well, we got 1 game and it was absolutely perfect with no typos. Because let's be real. 1 game a year, there's still going to be fucking typos. Okay, there's going to be typos. They won't be nearly as bad as this, but there's still going to be some. So I'd rather deal with this. Because let's be real, they're kind of bad at this point. Like, we've had to stop several times and like, what the fuck is happening here? It's still readable, and I just translate more games, and I'll handle this amount of typos. It's fine. It is fine. It's fine. Because we don't get anything translated. Like, this year, we got 3 whole games. Fucking Japan gets, like, fucking a dozen or more every fucking year. There's, like, 12 new games that just came out this month. What the fuck? And we get like 1 a year. Bitch, we need more translations. So if they've got lots of bad typos, I don't fucking give a shit. They're translated, okay? Okay? Because it's going to take me way too long to learn Japanese, and I got 9 games in Japanese waiting, and it's never going to happen, okay? Because we are just, like, I am just slacking at this. So until they can implant a chip in my brain and I can just download it, download all the Japanese in my brain, done. It's not gonna... I'm just saying. Man. Anyway. Please translate more and make all the typos you need. As long as it's still readable. You know? Anyway. Can you stand, stupid cat? Yes? Thanks. I took his hand, stood up, and sighed. That paralysis I felt just now was similar to when I was abducted and collared. If it was indeed the same poison, Sasazuka's theory about Tachibana not intending to kill us seemed pretty strong. We should let HQ know about this. It'll be difficult to explain. Considering that this was a setup, I bet the PC's a honeypot filled with worthless junk. It's still evidence, and I'll explain it to them too. What? What? Well, I was expecting you to tell me to figure out how to explain it on my own. Idiot. If I make you explain something you know nothing about, you're more apt to just screw it up and make more trouble for us in the long run. Right. He was being his typical harsh self, but for some reason, the words didn't have their usual sting. And thank you for everything. I'm sorry that I got you into this. I was too naive this time, just like you. I knew he was up to something from the beginning, but I overlooked the possibility that they'd attack through ways other than the collar. Was this recon or a test? Couldn't figure out exactly what he was trying to do, and that made me let my guard down. No, I'm the one who forced you to come with me. It's good that you know your faults, but you got the wrong idea. We didn't lose anything this time. Just got lured into a detour. I don't think that capturing Tachibana would have unraveled everything, and he's not critical enough for X-Day to stop just for him. Yeah. As long as we keep chasing after Adonis, we're bound to run into similar threats. You need to be more aware of your situation than you have been. You don't want to die, that is. Yes, I know. I nodded, feeling the weight of the collar. Then the door opened. And Emoto's back. Sorry. Got away. Everything went according to his plan, so it's not like he wouldn't have thought about his escape. Catching him was going to be a long shot. Damn it! Next time I see him, I'll... That much we can agree on. I don't think he'll show his face again. Huh. He's got what he needed, so we'd have no reason to show his face again unless it was to take us out for good. Well, if we do see him again, I'll do everything I can to crush him. Sasazuka's pissed. Later on, immediately after Sasazuka and I made our report to the police, the apartment was thoroughly searched. It was determined that Shota Matsushima did in fact exist, but the apartment had been rented using forged documents. Shiraishi had analyzed the letter and found that the ink and stationery matched the letter previously planted in our office. That information left no doubt that Tachibana was involved with Adonis. But the truth remains in the dark. As Sasazuka said, there wasn't much we could have done to avoid these situations. Adonis was a large-scale terrorist organization. The X-Day events would continue to occur. If I wanted to stop them, I was really going to have to do everything within my power. Okay, I kind of get it now. So they did this little side thing, so it's a little shoot-off that didn't happen in the original. Just a little side adventure. We continue doing the X-Day thing, we forget about this, so that when we go down our... Now it's after X-Day and we're living happily with our boyfriend, Tachibana's going to come back, and that makes sense as opposed to just a random person. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it makes sense and we'll have dealt with him before, and... But instead of being like, oh, it was... Instead of like going down the route where you're starting and it's happy and then this person shows up and then they kind of backtrack and then like, oh, by the way, so this happened then. They kind of start you off at that point, which I like better. Because like some games will be like, okay, we got to manufacture something. So we'll say that this happened during the original X-Day investigation and you're going from like present day, like, oh, hey, X-Day was in the past and we're lovey-dovey and together and then we're going to do a flashback to remember this. You know what I mean? It's essentially doing the same thing, but I like that we started here. We kind of started off, blah, 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 in the past. We're doing it in timeline kind of order. I don't know why, I just like that better. It doesn't, even though it's totally manufacturing a way to get a fan disc out of this. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel as like, oh, okay, you're just faking this shit to give us a... I don't know, it sets it up and you're like, okay, cool, all right, I'm with you. Anyway. If I wanted to stop them, I was really going to do everything in my power. Okay. Sasazuka's words always get on my nerves, but when he had faced down Tachibana, I saw a side of Sasazuka that I hadn't ever seen before. It was like I caught a glimpse of kindness that was beneath his cold and callous words. I don't know much about Sasazuka after all. If I understood him better, maybe it would change our relationship. Dun dun dun. We need to cooperate to solve these cases. Wishing for that day to finally come, I reaffirmed my resolve not to falter in the face of evil. And then we go down our normal X-Day route and our Sasazuka route, and here you go. Continue to after story. Woo! We did it! We can finally do the after story! Can now be played. Yay! Saving system data. Oh, wow. Now we get to... Oh, wait. Do we have to go to new memory now, I guess? Oh, because these are the different... So, mysterious client, while fearful of the collar placed on her, the protagonist continued to hunt for the truth behind the X-Day incidents. On a cold December day, Chisato Tachibana, a supposed client, arrived at Yanagi's detective agency. Yanagi attempts to chase him away, but then he mentioned Adonis. And these would be other chapters, depending on whose route. Check PC to Takeru Sasazuka. Sasazuka, Enomoto, and the protag went to the apartment to check on Tachibana's request. Sasazuka tried to hack into the PC. The moment they solved a puzzle on the PC was solved, Tachibana sprung his trap. Wow. Okay, you know what? I would rather have more games localized and have to deal with this shitty typos than not have more games localized. Just gotta remind myself of that because this is like, wow. Though they managed to escape the danger they'd faced, Tachibana escaped. Unable to find out what he was after, they returned to investigating the X-Day incidents. And there's a lot more of these because the other people's... Oh, what? There we go. After story. There we go. I'm guessing these are all Sasazuka. Wow, that's a lot. April 20XX. The protagonist helped end the threat of the X-Day incidents in Shinjuku. There are still lingering issues, and not all the wounds have healed, but the days she spends with her lover bring her peace and calm. Happy days like these will continue on. Sure. And I'm actually not going to start it until the next part, because there's no point in popping it open. Actually, there is a point. Are you sure? Yes. It's the only story we can do. Shinjuku District, Tokyo. Population approximately 330,000. Last year, a series of horrific crimes, the likes of which the country had never seen, rocked the nation. The X-Day incidents. Ooh, I love this. I was a rookie cop who was just starting out, and amidst the chaos I was scrambling to protect the public. That was when someone placed a poison-filled collar around me and I found myself in a life-or-death situation. Jesus Christ. And then I met him. A member of the detective agency that was investigating the X-Day incidents independently from the police. Takeru Sasazuka was the first. Oh, to force me to confront the harsh reality of my predicament. He's in the background. I hope you can hear it. At first he came off as intimidating, terrifying person. Always cold, harsh, and foul-mouthed. But while investigating the cases alongside him, I learned that there was more to him than what showed on the surface. I'm going to let you read this yourself so you can hear the voices in case you can't hear it. So you read it yourself. Oh, never mind. He was more invested in ending these incidents than anyone. I missed it. Okay, you know what? Just go back and read. The only thing I hate is you can't click through this on your own. It goes so fast. You have to read it yourself. I'm sorry. The voice is so quiet, though. I don't know if you can hear it. I like how they give this flashback. The collar had been removed in its place. I torn myself with feelings of love for him. I'm sorry. I'll make you a deal. We'll start this over again when we start the next part. So we'll replay this. Because I didn't know that was going to happen. So, what I'll do when we come back into the next part, instead of starting chapter 1, because I didn't know we were going to do that little backlog thing. April 2nd. I will go back. We'll start chapter 1 again this way, and I'll kind of turn up the volume so hopefully you can hear the voice acting. And you'll have to read that again, but this way you can read it yourself. So, but I'll warn you ahead. So we'll do that again in the next part. So if you didn't catch it or anything like that, because it plays too fast for me to read. And I read fast and I speak fast, but dude, you'll get a chance to do it again. And now we know. So now we know every time that's coming. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm going to crank up the volume in the background and I'll shut up because I'm loud. So, you know, honestly, the nice thing about recording through my Elgato capture card is now it works again. Thank God. And I don't have to and I can change my microphone volume. And so I can turn the background volume up really loud and my voice stays the same. So that's the nice thing about it. But we'll do that part all over again in the next part. So I will see you guys next time and we'll start chapter 1 again. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.